name is Afifa. Greeting. A polite greeting is important. When we meet someone, we should bow and greet them. This is a very important etiquette in Japan, and if you see local person not being submissive to others, it will be considered very rude. However, for tourists, any inclination of the head or simply a bow will be highly appreciated by the Japanese. Also, greeting someone properly is an important part of Japanese costume. When meeting a foreigner for the first time, some Japanese will extend their head for a handshake. However, it should be noted that not all ask to shake hands. Therefore, the correct response when meeting Japanese people for the first time is to match what the other person is doing. Introduce our name and title. Japanese name generally consists of only two words, namely the first name and the last name. The first name is the family name, Myoji, while the last name is the person's original name or given by his parents, Shita no name. In Japan, a person will be called by his family name for those who are not close. His real name is only used for someone who is close, such as family, friends, or close friends. Not only that, there is also a special affix to mention people's names respectfully with respect based on between the speaker and the other person who is called by the speaker, like some, which is used for a respected person, a leader, a business partner. Meeting and punctuality. Japanese people value time very much. They are always on time. Japanese people have been taught to value punctuality. There is said that he really hates being late, even though it's only 1 minute. It's better to choose to come earlier if you already have an appointment.
In Japan, the number of hours worked as determined by law is 8 hours per day and 40 hours per week. The break for working hours of more than 6 hours is 45 minutes, while the break for working hours of more than 8 hours is 60 minutes. The number of hours worked will usually be written in the employment contract. However, because Japan is famous for its people who workaholic, it is not strange if the working hours of Japanese people have to increase or work overtime. However, they have overtime regulation and overtime hours regulated by the Labor Standard 8. Most companies in Japan set Saturday and Sunday as holidays. By law, the minimum number of days off is 1 day per week and 4 days per month. Negotiation or business deal or business partner. For the Japanese, sincerity means appreciating the kindness of another person by not saying something that is expected to make him lose face. These basic truths are often forced to hide, intended to avoid confrontation or direct attack on others. Disagree points possible will be revealed, but the Japanese tend to express it in a vague and indirect way. Honesty and openness about everything that happens can be considered an insult and an attack. In order to maintain harmony, Japanese people tend to never state no. This happened because Japanese etiquette stated that it was more important than the truth that could possibly be spoken. For avoid being rude, they chose not to give evasive responses. Silence is also recommended when in doubt. When an agreement is reached, discuss everything to ensure that both parties have agreed to it in the same sense. When there's something which is not approved, convey indirectly. During negotiation, face a big obstacle, then the solution will take time with. Rather than force their will openly, it is better to wait and give an indirect response. Japan has unique style of dress, but they dress normally and neatly at work, because appearance is one of the important factors in business. If you dress neatly and politely, your co-workers will respect you. Businesswomen usually have a more sensitive dress code. Don't wear revealing clothes as this can distract others. Dress formally, professionally, like dressing to go to a formal event. For men, be sure to wear a suit. It is not always necessary to wear a tie, especially during the summer, but a suit is a must. As for women, have several more options than men. Should always be able to wear a suit or maybe a blouse with a longer skirt. As for jewelry and shoes, depending on the company, jewelry and high heels may be prohibited. After all, it might be better to avoid high heels altogether for a variety of reasons. Do not wear excessive makeup or accessories. It is best not to stand out.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdul Faik Nabil and I want to explain about distance or interaction with Japanese people. Keep in mind that Japanese people might be a little bit stiff on the first meeting, so you have to keep your distance and basically don't touch your business partner either. Uh, if you are getting along in later meeting, we hope that the distance might change a lot, so just be patient. And then there's entertainment and hospitality. In Japanese entertainment, Japan uh, prefers to foster close friendly relation with its partner. Therefore, it's an initial meeting. The Japanese partner did not talking about any business at all. The topics of the conversation that usually chosen are climate, golf, impression, Japan, uh, traveling, hobbies, and so on. In addition, sharing personal experience such as sharing family photo will show a feeling of intimacy and kinship. And for Japanese hospitality, there are some deep-rooted culture that we know as omotenashi, uh, which come from sado or tea ceremony. Uh, Omote means public face and nash means nothing. Combining them means uh, everything and every service is from the bottom of heart, no pretend, no hiding, and absolutely honest. There's no surprise that you often meet this omotenashi every time you visit Japan. And now it's time to explain about present or gift. Companies often choose present gift, particularly at the first meeting. It's because the culture itself. And the cultural ritual of giving present in Japan has has its own rules. So remember the following points. First, remember to avoid giving any white flowers and giving any potted plants. Second, try not to give of 4 or 9 items, as this number is viewed as ill-fated. Third, gifts should be wrapped and ideally carried into meeting in a discreet bag. Fourth, if you are taking business trip to Japan, you should bring some small wrapped items. So if you are unacceptably present with a gift, you can reciprocate it. Fifth, gourmet foodstuff such as chocolate and whiskey is a good simple idea for gift. Six, if, uh, if you are giving or presenting a gift and accept a gift, you have to use your both hands.
My name is Nur Isra Maharani. 1. Eye contact. Eye contact is an important aspect of non-verbal communication in Japan. Indirect eye contact is the norm, as direct eye contact may be interpreted as intimidating. Indirect eye contact is particularly common when speaking to an elder or someone higher ranking to demonstrate respect. Usually, people will look at another part of someone's face, such as their chin. 2. Gesture. There are a number of other common gestures that may be used while speaking. For instance, a common gesture used when someone is embarrassed is to raise one hand and place it behind the back of the head. This gesture is also sometimes used as a way to indirectly disagree or refuse something. Another gesture used to indicate a lighthearted disagreement is to wave both hands in front of their body or their face. Displaying intense emotion is usually avoided in Japanese communication. This is especially the case in formal situations such as in workplace or at school. People tend to avoid overt and intense displays of anger to preserve face. Social status can play a role in how intensely emotions are expressed. 3. Physical contact. Minimal physical contact is preferred. People tend to avoid touching others unless it is unavoidable, like in a crowded public place. Close friends or people of the same gender may stand or sit close to one another. Public displays of physical affection among opposite genders is uncommon. However, affectionate and friendly contact, such as hugging, hand-holding, or walking arm in arm, is quite common among friends of the same gender. Last, rules of the conversation and the rule of silence. Interrupting someone who is talking is generally considered impolite. This means that many Japanese tend to remain silent during a conversation until there is a opening to speak. Sometimes silence is intentional to allow people time to think about the discussion. Silence is often understood as reflection, politeness, and respect. Nodding is common for people to nod during conversation to indicate they are listening or as a sign of acknowledgement. Nodding is a gesture of politeness and does not necessarily imply agreement.